Bam. Cherry. Cherry, bro. What up, everybody? Looks like we might have worked out the kink. We'll wait for a few more people to come on. Central Illinois. Yes, if you guys would put where you're from. We'll wait for a few more people to join on. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let me actually move the camera just a little bit more. That Velcro is coming in hardcore right there. But we definitely worked out the kinks. Let me tell you, there we go. Maybe you still see the. One more time, a little closer to the edge. There we go. Let's get this little thing in the corner there. There's always a little delay with you guys. All right, Cherry. All right, man. Welcome tonight. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Man, it looks like Seattle in the house. Columbus, Ohio, Albuquerque, Central Illinois. Innovative Styles, Brother Rudy here in the house. Innovative Styles. Dodge Paint. Colorado, all right, in the house. Kansas City in the house. Definitely. So, I'm excited tonight. Going to go through, which is something so simple, but so cool. I got a couple of panels like you guys seen on the post for this. Gonna do last week, if you guys remember, we did the Kansas. We did the Chiefs. This is the same size that we will be using for the pattern class. It's a 12 by 32 inch MDF board. Of course, last week I did Chiefs. And, just to kind of, because we're doing the Kansas class this next weekend, just to kind of show some love over there. Like I say, I'm personally not really too much of a sports fan myself at all. I'm more of a cars, Jesus, cars, music, lowriders, you know what I mean? Candy, Flake type of person. But just to kind of show some love for Kansas out there. That was Candy Gold. We'll be using those same colors for the class for you. I know there's quite a bit of people that, what do you call it? That's going to be on here that's taking the class. I can already see next weekend. So we are going to be using Candy Red, Candy Gold. We're going to be using, which would be the same. I forget what it is in Orion, but it would be in House of Colors. Everybody knows Oriental Blue, Cobalt Blue, and like I say, and of course the gold. So anybody at the class wants to do, of course, the what do you call it? Blue, different shades they can. And of course here's kind of serape style with kind of the blues and golds. And then of course you got the reds and the golds. So those will be the colors we'll be using. And of course you'll be able to intermix. I mean, nobody has to go with those colors for the class. I mean, those are the only colors we're going to use. But you can combine them to make orange. You can combine them to make the blues and the golds. You can make green when you overlap them, whatever you end up. So, I mean, it's pretty much going to be open next Saturday. And like I say, we do have still room for the class. We have a few spots left. It will be sold out by next week. If you're able to make it to this class, you're close by, you're even able to afford a plane ticket over there, whatever it takes to get there, which we do have a lot of people that fly in. It's a 2-day class, all hands-on, all materials included. The class is $775 per student. That includes all materials. You get one of these boards, a 12 by 32 inch board, 8 rolls of fine line vinyl. You get all the candies, the clear lunch bowl days, a bunch of awesome fellowship with like-minded people, and a chance to learn. And this class is for all skill levels. If you've never picked up a gun ever in your life, this is for you. If you've been doing it for a long time, this is for you. We try to give it 100%. Well, I always say 200% because we literally do. A lot of adrenaline going. And of course, last week I cut out the Kansas City Chiefs because I have not figured out my cricket machine yet. It's not even a cricket. It's I forget what it's called, but it's like the competition for the cricket. And I'm just not tech savvy. And I know it's awesome because a few people reached out. Got Brother Brian that's taking the class. He's cutting a bunch of stuff out that people will be able to use, some different things, as well as Mark. He's taking the class out of Tulsa. He's printing a bunch of different things for you guys to use. We always try to do something in the middle of the boards to just demonstrate how cool you could do a team, your favorite band, whatever, Chevy, Harley Davidson, whatever it is, to where that's like the center. And of course, it doesn't even have to be there. It could be somewhere else to do that. But it gives you that depth. You know what I mean? So you have like that depth. You know, the patterns are going behind it. And it just looks so deep. I want you guys to be able to figure that out because that's the huge thing for you guys to be able to do skateboards, cups, whatever it is, panels, to be able to make some extra money or some cool Christmas gifts or whatever it may be. Or if you're working, you're trying to do stuff. Like I see my brother James on here. I know he's been doing some pretty cool Harley parts. Real cool. And like I say, it's just one of those things. I know he did one real cool with the Harley Davidson on it. It just gives that depth. So I'm going to do a couple of panels tonight. I'm going to try to be as best as I can with you guys time-wise. This panel I'm going to do real quick just to show the whole tape fade, what you can do with tape fades. And I'm just going to do squares on this one real quick. We're going to do it real quick. And then I'm going to actually do the panel that will match this panel tonight. But it will be the Kansas City Royals. And we will be doing different shades of blues. Kind of like this panel here. You know what I mean? The two different blues. But then in the middle of the Kansas City logo, we'll put some gold just in this section, kind of what they have on the actual logo. And these panels will be just for demonstration, just to show you guys, and they'll be at the Class 2 next weekend. So definitely, if you haven't signed up, you're able to, you're around the area, hit me up. If you need some help with the class, hit me up. And like I say, it will sell out. Most likely probably will be sold out by Wednesday or Thursday. And man, like I say, I appreciate everybody that is signed up. So what we're going to be doing today is tape fades. Tape fades. So boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I'm trying to keep with all of your comments too. Notice he said Jesus first. Yes, indeed. Everybody. Good man, Rob. Thank you, brother. And of course, I fall short too like crazy. We all do, man. We're fallible human beings and fall short every single day. But thank you for his grace. And like a lot of people don't know, I'm 12 years clean of crystal meth. And like I say, it's most of the work you guys seen that I've done that's been in Lowrider magazine, all that was on meth. Top of my game, lowrider wise. So what I'm going to do, this is 3/4 inch masking tape. Literally, this is such a cool thing. So what we're going to do, literally, we're just going to go, boom, 3/4 inch. Same thing over here, both sides. As you see, I already framed it. I framed this piece. I just want, this is like a little extra treat today for you guys. I hope you guys soak this in. With the lowrider styles, when I started, a lot of things were kind of already out. Styles from the 60s, 70s, and then my generation really took it. We tried to take it another step. And my whole point that I'm getting to you guys is that there's a lot of painters out there. They have a certain style. Like you guys know me for my style, the real crazy everybody. I always call myself the what do you call it? Tasteful overkill. Now I'm just continuing with these 3/4 inches, and I should be using the green and the tan like I always do, but I'm not going to do that tonight, just to make it look cool in the process. Because like I say, this ain't even the board that the actual show board we're doing for tonight. This is just a demonstration of what you can do with fades. And so back to my whole point, this is something you want to add to your toolbox of wisdom and of tricks. Fades are so important. You could do all the framing in the world, old school S patterns, man, but you gotta have fades in your arsenal. It's mandatory. It's mandatory. And one of the people I used to look up to, they're pretty much all the patterns they did, and this is back to my whole point, were fades. And not straight fades. They'd had intricate fades, but every pattern they did was almost never solid. It was always a fade. And this is simple. I've done whole cars like this. Nep's truck, green truck, forget a 1500 I did. I think it would have been about 1996, 97. Basically, same thing with my brother Rudy sitting right here. His brother's car out in Tucson. Same thing. I just literally framed the car. It was a 66 or 67. Yeah, 66. Framed the car. And then I just started laying 3/4 inch till it met in the middle. So I'm going to do one more on each side. You want to make sure it's equal. I mean, 116. I'm going to do one more. Both sides. And of course you can do these all shapes you want, but I'm doing this for a reason tonight. Just squares. We are going to do squares, and it's just cool how they overlap over each other. And just cool how many colors you can do. And we're going to do this on the actual panel that we're doing tonight, but a little bit different, a little bit more of a show board versus a demonstration board. So, Brother Mark in the house. Bam. Brother, and we probably are going to end up staying at your house on Monday, my brother. For sure. Got Brother Mark. He owns a shop in Tulsa. He's one of the ones I just told you guys. He's cutting out some of the low-tack designs that are going to go in the middle of the board. And he offered up for us to stay halfway from Albuquerque to there at his place. I think we're going to take advantage of it. The only reason I am is because he got Brahms ice cream across the street from his shop. Laugh out loud. But super cool dude, man. That's, you know, the classes, that's what it's about. A lot of people end up family. So you see I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we are short 1 on that side. No, I counted the actual one. So 7, yeah, we're good. 7, 7. So you got right here, literally just laid 3/4 inch. As you can see, I overlapped about 2 millimeters over each one. And what we're going to do, like I say, this is just a demonstration board. I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. Super cool effect. Tonight we're going to be using Oriental Blue, Cobalt Blue, and Pagan Gold. And of course black and white. Because like I say, we're doing the Dodgers board. Like I said, I'm going to try to be as good as I can with our time tonight. And see, I already kind of pre-marked 3 inches, 3 inches, and 6 inches. So with the fade, what you end up doing, you end up shooting just the edge. Just the edge. And it just literally gets, it's a fade of paint. And it just gives the most coolest effect. I know when I first started painting and did the custom stuff, man, my first fades, I was like, yeah, I was you don't even know. I was like a kid in a candy store. It was like Christmas to me. And like I say, this is something you want to add to your arsenal. It's mandatory to add this to your arsenal. So like I say, this is just old school trick fades. I've been wanting to show you guys this for a minute. It's something that is really so simple, but it's so cool. So literally I could shoot just the paint straight across this, but we're going to do a bunch of squares on top of squares. Like I say, and you're going to be able to overlap over each other. It's just so much depth. And like I say, because we're only using 3 colors tonight on this, man, if you were to use almost all the colors, it looks cool. It's kind of an old 70s, got an old 70s cool look to it. So this back to this, I mean, you could literally, we could shoot the fade all the way through here, or you could break it up. Like I say, I got 7 and 7, and we could break it up. This is something I did, like I say, some of the first cars I did, this is some of the stuff I did in certain sections of the paint, of the patterns. And so I'm going to literally run a piece right here across. And I'm going to run another one equal to that one, literally over here. And like I said, I already kind of marked it every 3 inches. And you could go back, you could do whatever. We could do one more just across. I'm running it all the way across just so we get a good measurement. You know, back in the day, I used to just eye it, get it as good as I could. And if you got a pretty good eye, you'll get away with it. So I'm literally going to break out. I'm going to go with the cobalt blue first. Let me get my colors over there. Almost. Thank God I got Brother Rudy over here. He comes and helps me prep and get ready. It takes a lot to get prepped for this. Oh yeah, there you go. Cherry. So I got cobalt blue. Like I say, I got my trusty Harbor Freight green $24 gun. These work cherry. If you're a millionaire and you can afford all the fancy guns, great. But if you're just getting started, some of these work really good, especially for this. If you're doing a bunch of colors, man, and you want to have like a bunch of guns set up, like I say, you know what I mean? I got, you know, we're all ready to roll. A bunch of different guns. Boom, boom, boom. So like I say, I'm going to come across. Always test it first. Now I'm just literally shooting. And you know me, I'm shaky. So fades is kind of a little frustrating with me. I try to be as straight as I can. And once I get going back and forth, I can pretty much get it. But you want to be as steady as possible. And you're basically just shooting right on the edge. You're basically shooting right on the edge. I'm going to try to move as fast as I can to be a good steward of your time. I know a lot of you guys are way East Coast. So all I did was shoot on that edge. So now this is ready to go. Take it off. And then we're going to take the first one off. And let's say we had more time. You could break out with some 1/2 inch in there. Real nice 1/2 inch fades. What we're going to do on the other board is we are going to do some cool stuff through it with the blues besides squares. So now this next one, that's pretty much ready to go. That's sprayed. And then I'm going to come back. And this is back to, like, you know, it's really up to you where you want to put it. But I'm going to come back. I'm going to go over here. Hey, you want to copy? Can you copy and paste and share the live with Ed on Facebook? You know what, Ed? I forgot. I was going to share with them. So boom, I'm going to do the same thing. And I don't necessarily have to put 2 3/4 inch. That's really kind of up to your discretion. So boom, gonna do that. And like I say, I'm just showing you guys, this is super cool. And I am gonna crisscross with some gold, and it'll kind of give us a little green wherever it crisscrosses. It would be Waldress. So now I'm coming back with some Oriental blue. Like I say, I'm pretty shaky. So these fades, boy. Same thing, I'm just shooting right on the edge. Shooting right on the edge. And depending on how much you want, I mean, you could go with 1-2 coats. This is a mandatory for your arsenal. Gotta have those fades. And the fades, they can get candied over. I mean, you could do fades in black. You could do them in white. Candy over them. You talk about some cool hologram effect. Woo! Let me tell you. That's one of the things that kind of made me popular, was all that hologram effect. And that was with candying over it. Let's say we were going to do some of these blacks, whites, candy red, and then we candy red over them, and even flake over them and then candy over them. Man. So that was Oriental blue. Same thing, taking these up. Huh? What? Waldress. W-A-L. Yeah. Did you friend him? Oh yeah, I don't know if you... Oh yeah, well you should have messages, yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go again. Like I say, there's gonna be a whole... So now I'm gonna go over here. Like I said, I kind of already pre-measured. In fact, I don't want to go there. I'm gonna come over here. This time I'm only gonna put one. Okay, now I'm going to do the gold. Simple and so cool. You'll see when it's all done, said and done. It just gives you such a cool effect. Same thing, you're just shooting on the edge. And personally, I like to shoot it depending on how concentrated you have it. I usually try to add a little more than usual of concentrate to where it covers a little bit quicker. And usually I like to have the pressure a little bit high. Of course, you see as it's going over that blue, it's making a cool green. So I say with these fades, man, you could do all kinds of colors. I'm just doing this, like I say, just demonstrational, just to show you guys how cool this is. Boom. Tear that one off. Tear that one off. Tear that one off. Next one. Let me get a tack rag real quick. Figure it out?
Yeah.
All right. It's always good with this tack rag, kind of go over it. So same thing, here we go. So I'm gonna overlap. So all these, when it gets cleared, it's just one overlaps over each other, another, and then you could do a solid over all of this. So just let's see. So I'm gonna come over here. Come over here. Right in the middle. In fact, I'm going to come over a little bit. This one I am just eyeing. Boom. Over here. Now I'm going to come back with the cobalt blue. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. If you guys could, please like and subscribe if you're not. Definitely press the like button. I'm just going right along the edge of the tape. It puts a nice little fade. And there's so many things you could do with this. Okay. Then you want to tack it again. And it dries pretty quick because it's just you're really doing fading. You're not shooting it on wet. Looks like Idaho in the house too. Brother Freddie too. Kansas City. Boom. Came out sweet. Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. Okay, so now next one. Like I say, this is a quick little process. I'm going to come in. I'm going to go right in between that. I'm going to go right in between this. Then right away come back with the Oriental. That was cobalt that I just shot. Huh? You're not doing red today? No red. Oh, red was last week. Yeah. Red and gold. Boom, boom, boom.
So if you added red to that, would it change, will all that change different colors?
Yeah, if you did red to this, you would have some purples. And of course, you know, the 60s style, yeah, like this. And like I say, I'm just doing squares just to demonstrate the fades over each other. This is something you want to add to your arsenal. I mean, it's literally mandatory. Fades, you got to figure out the fade. You'll see people do like so many things with the fades. So there's 2 more lines to do through there. And like I say, let me go over this one more time. I'm just gonna kind of real quick we'll actually do like kind of through it. So even that, you can do that. This could get taped up, you could shoot through it. Or back to that, you can just shoot literally right through that. So I'll go with the gold. Like I say, I'm just using the colors I've mixed up that we're using for the other board. Now this one I'm going to shoot actually through, right through the center of that pattern. And I'm going to still come back. I'm going to gold this. I'm going to gold this. Arizona, Tom G in the house. Alexis Ortega, hello Rob, hello everyone. First time here, really love your work. I appreciate it. Thank you for the love. So untape that. Something simple. Like I say, personally, these colors together kind of over each other, I personally don't like. But you see it kind of makes a green. You know, it does its own little thing. Of course, I like them together but separated. I don't know how to explain it. And then there's two more things there. I'm going to go right there. I'm going to go right in between here. Right in between there. And right there about 3/4 of an inch up. Now I'm going to go back with the cobalt blue. Same thing, just fading along the edge. So all these kind of look like they go over each other. Once it gets cleared, it'll look like a crazy candy freeway of squares. You can go as dark as you want. Only shooting the edge. You're not really shooting that open area. You're literally just shooting the edge. Huh? Yeah, you could shoot black in there too. Then literally go, I'll go with in fact, you know what? Just to get a little bit more gold in there, I'll shoot gold around the edge, kind of fade it up a little bit more. Like I say, just really wanted to show you guys kind of those fades. All that was laying down three-quarter inch masking tape. And then each one, you're laying it across the first one you sprayed. And like I say, if it's cleared, you guys would really get to see a better effect. And there's so many other things. Like I say, this is just something extra I wanted to throw at you guys tonight. The whole fades. I mean, it is so important to add it into your arsenal. So back to what we're actually doing. Of course, you always want a wax and grease remover. Make sure it's clean. This is another board, same size we're going to be doing for the class. I like to do the wax and grease remover, and then I do some Windex mixed in with it. Or you can do wax and grease first, Windex after. Everybody has their different preference. Some people use that can, the can of Windex. So important to get that cleaned up. This thing's probably been wiped about 30 times already. Rudy sanded it and wiped it. I re-wiped it. I'm re-wiping it again. So like I say, today, literally, I'm going to be doing Kansas City Royals. This shouldn't take too long tonight either. Like I say, we're going to be kind of doing what I just did, but in a more tasteful way. I was kind of showing you guys that technique-wise. Boom, yeah. Hit the like button. Appreciate it, Lloyd. Please like the like button, guys. Okay, so, you know me, we always got to frame it. Always frame it. And of course, due to time, we could do so many different framing. We could do it round. We could even do some cut-ins. All of those things. But for time-wise, I'm going to literally do what I do when we're in a time crunch because we got so much to do. 1/4 inch vinyl for the border. About 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. It could be a little more, a little less. There ain't no rules to that. But to make it easy on yourself, honestly, for eyeballing, I literally like to just do 1/4 inch away from the edge. Just to make it as simple as possible. And if you're eyeing it, it just helps so much. So, 1/4 inch away from the edge. Boom, boom, boom. Lay it down. Always press it down real good. Flip it, flop it. Always move the board around to where you're comfortable. Boom. There we go. Sorry if my head's in the picture. And of course, shaky. You know me. If I can do it, you can do it. Shaky like crazy. Boom, boom, boom. Razor blade don't cut too deep. Of course, I cut the wrong side. Cut the same side twice. Boom. Same thing. Right along the edge. I park the razor blade right against the fine line. And then I just go right along it. It'll go right along it. So easy. Boom. You never want to go too deep. Like I say. Boom, boom, boom. Framing it is so important. There's so many ways, like I say, to frame it. You could do so many things. You could do a 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. You could do 1/16 inch and an 1/8 inch. But like I tell you guys, if you're new here, try to think smart when you're taping things. Think smart. That way, as you're untaping it and spraying it, it comes apart a lot easier than you like taping over things that got to come off way after or way before. So my whole point, always frame it. Most people in the class start doing their tape and all the edges. They have to go back. They have to cut every one of those fine line off the edge. I always go back with my 3/4 inch. This is all mandatory before you even get going on the job, before you start figuring out what you're doing. You're just running it right through the middle. Right through the middle of the 1/4 inch. I mean, that don't have to be perfect. This is just like basically just protecting your edge. That's what it's doing. Three-quarter inch around the whole edge. Boom. You can tear off some of these long little stubbles. Get them out the way. That way when I'm moving it around, it ain't so bad. And this is an MDF 1/2 inch board. This is what we'll be using for the class. Like I say, I want to keep, if you are able to make it to the class next weekend, Kansas City, Missouri. My brother Nick Rodriguez is my partner out there. Amazing pattern guy, pinstriper, leafer, hands-on class. Man, at Atomic Collision out there in Kansas, Missouri on Truman Street. We still got some spots left. This class will sell out. I'm telling you. Get your spot in. Get your deposit in. It's $775 per student. Hands-on. All materials included. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we got it framed up. And like I say, this took me by hand, how shaky I am. Like I say, I haven't figured out my Cricut or whatever it's called, the machine. And there's people I could have went to cut it out for me, but I know people are busy. So this is all cut by hand. Like I say, I got my brother Mark on here from Tulsa. He cut out some shapes. Brother Brian from, I think, Topeka cut out some. So our theme today, of course, because we did last week, for you guys just tuning in, the Kansas class, we did the Chiefs. Last week, 3 shade, 3 fade. Look at all that little detail in there. And today we are doing the Kansas City Royals. So back to this. You could literally put this here. You could put it going this way. Just depends on how you're going to do your design. Whatever you're doing. And personally, I think today I'm going to put it right in the middle. This way, even though it would look so cool just because the pattern is along that way. And like I say, this is all cut out. Cut it out by hand, which makes it a little bit more difficult. You want to get this on first. This is a low tack. I sell this low tack orange. Works really good. Same thing. So same thing with this. I'm basically tonight, and I know my brother, even Mark, was telling me old school trick to get this right in the center. Just for time wise, I'm going to eye it as good as I can. Hope for the best. You want to get that down real good. And then I'm going to keep just the center mast, this little center. So I'm going to keep this orange in there. So I'm going to just come right along this with my shaky self. Like I say, if I can do this, you can do this. I am super shaky. Been shaky. It's been getting a little worse, but I've been shaky my whole time painting. You know, people trip out. They're like, holy Moses. They see I'm working on their car and I'm all shaky, taking off tape. All of that is just marker on that blue. So it's actually cut pretty straight. That might look a little jiggly, but it's going to work out cherry. Just like last week, I cut it out by hand. For the class, of course, we're going to have a bunch of ones that are already cut out. Different stuff you guys can use. You guys can use the Chiefs. You guys can use the Royals. You guys can use whatever. I think Brother Mark's cutting out a bunch of different. What's happening, Dan? If you guys would like and subscribe. Hit the like button. Appreciate you guys. And if you would, put where you're from. So now this is a heart. You always want to frame it. You always want to put what you're going to put. Whether it's a team, whether it's, a Chevy emblem, whether it's Cadillac emblem, Harley Davidson, whatever it is, whatever your thing is. And you don't have to put anything, but this is just something I want to teach everybody in the class, because it gives that depth. Like I say, it gives that depth. I know I keep repeating myself because I don't know who, but it just looks like those patterns are just going underneath that Chiefs emblem. And so now that we got this on here, we're going to be laying out what we're doing for the actual design, which I'm going to do something similar. We're going to be doing those fades, what we just did, but a little bit different. And a little more tasteful, versus that's just what I just showed you guys prior to this was just demonstration of fades. So going to break out with I'm going to do just one little design kind of first, and then we're going to do those 3 fades over it. So let me get out. I'm going to use some 3M. We're going to use some J tape, 1/8 inch. We're going to use masking tape for both. J tape 1/4 inch and 3M 1/4 inch. And I got all this stuff for sale. All of it's on my website. The link is below in the description. The Vanderslice Chrome Silver Flake, all different sizes. All the tape, J tape, 3M, all different sizes. Vanderslice t-shirts. I appreciate you guys supporting. There's a lot of competition out there. A lot of people out there selling, and I wish the best for everybody, but definitely I appreciate you guys supporting. So I'm gonna lay out something like I did last week. This is the 1/8 inch. This is all just kind of demonstration. So back to kind of what we did earlier. Let me move these around so they're out of the way somewhat. This, so it just crisscrosses through, just for an example. So same thing. Then say I am going to kind of what I did last week. I'm going to rip that, leave it hanging off the edge. Then I'm going to come back with 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. Quarter inch. And then this too, you could, if you want to get this perfect, you could lay down some tape if you're trying to measure that perfect. And you could put this here, you could put another 1/2 inch there just to get that line perfect. But tonight, like I say, we're just going to be eyeing it. Get it as good as possible. Everything back in the day, I eyed everything. There was no measuring. I would measure maybe the middle of the hood. I would measure like right in the middle of the hood, roof, trunk. I would measure maybe in between that. There'd be 3 measurements total on a whole car, and then the rest, every single thing was by eye. And of course, we're human. There's going to be little things off. I mean, if it's way off, I mean, that's one thing. But for coming there's a reason I just laid this there, because I wanted that to be the same as it is over there on that side. Same thing, I just turn. I usually keep about a 1/2 inch little gap right there. Kind of by eye. And then, like we did last week, like I say, some of these, I always mask up a little bit in there to get the most out of it. JR's in the house. Tom G. The Chevlium was tight. What up, JR? JR's there. Boom. So, doing that right there. And then, gonna come back. Gonna do. So, same thing. If you want to do this and you're trying to get it perfectly spaced, I do just want to throw it out real quick. Which I'm getting to a point where I am doing that now. You can lay this right up against this 1/2 inch. Then you can come back, literally butt this up against right here, just to get the measurement and your line as perfect as possible. And take that off right there. Same thing, about a 1/2 inch. Boom. I'm going to come over here with the green again. You can line it up right there with that green to run this one all the way down. Simple. This is back to just some framing. Some S pattern, traditional S pattern is what I call it, framing pattern, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to come back, I'm going to cut right here. I'm going to have to do another one on these, how many different ways you can do this, from straight to bends to turns to... So there we go for that. Now I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip this piece. We're going to do the same thing. So same thing to get that same measurement. I'm going to come across this. I'm going to come in with this. Boom. I'm going to tear that off. I come in with this turn here. And the whole trick with all of this stuff, you got to have a plan. There's got to be different details in each plan. So like I say, first thing was framing it. First thing was framing it. Second thing is whatever logo you're going to put. Third thing is your theme. So, or your main frame patterns, which would be this. And then what's going to be your inner? What's going to be, are you going to do an effect in there? You're going to do, kind of like we did on this one. We called it last week the Coca-Cola wave. With all of that detail fades for the background. So you got to think it's almost like, and I was never good at English at all, but there's an outline when you're writing whatever your homework or whatever you want to call it. If we got any English people in here, English class, there's always an outline of how you're going to write a story. And this is basically an art piece. And of course, it's back to that. There ain't no rules in this. You can do whatever. I mean, there's literally no rules. And, you know, and the custom painters that have been around for a long time and we've been doing this, there is rules in our head. And all you guys that are trying to just figure it out, I mean, that's a part of the process. It's figuring it out, making mistakes, and like, hey, that kind of looks ugly. That didn't work out as I expected it to do. You know, just like so many jobs that I did where it's like, whoa, I should have done it this way. And that's what it's all about. And of course, that's what the class is. We're trying to kind of help you guys, save you guys some time in that process. So boom, we got that there. Now I'm just going to do a couple more little things, and then we're going to run the middles. And this is going to go probably pretty quick. This ain't going to be like the one where we got to tape up all the different things. The only thing that we're going gold on this thing is literally in here. So all of the blues, we're going to be able to get away with basically not having to mask up a bunch of stuff. Unless I decided to do just this design gold and then mask it, which is really an option. And that I could tape that up. It could be totally ready to go. And then just continue to spray the blues after that. So I am going to go back. I'm going to we're going to frame this one more time. Basically, what we did kind of last week. And in fact, you know what? Let me see. I think nope. So I'm going to stick with the plan. I'm going to continue with the plan. That's something, you know, when you are doing jobs like this, and so many times it might be already you have it figured out what you're doing, and in the midst of the job you change your mind because something cool comes to mind. That happens to me on every single job. And lucky with most customers, man, they trust me. They literally, you know, whatever I think for the majority of the part, 98% are like, man, I trust you, Rob. Do what you're going to do. So I am going to, if I can find my half inch. Here we go. So I'm going to come back in. Like I say, we are going to mask Albuquerque West Side. 505 bullies in the house. So I'm going to come back. This is like I always tell you guys. Utilize when you're masking. Why don't you make a pattern, an extra detail? I could just mask that up with 3/4 inch and call it a day. I mean, and that's cool. But that ain't cool like this. Look at that hologram effect. You know what I mean? You ought to see it in person. Those little fades. That's just from doing that half inch and shooting a little white right along that edge. So I'm going to literally do this. And then you can, this half inch, you massage it. You can get it to turn really nice around that. It'll turn for you pretty good. So boom. Now I can go back. Go back with the 3/4 inch. I'll come back. I'll tear that here just in a second. So this is just to mask it up. Boom. Like I said, try to do as much tearing as possible. If everybody could put again that's still up. I appreciate it, brother Mark. Definitely appreciate it. That's all hand cut right there, buddy, with razor blade, shaky hand, with some Hobby Lobby low tack KC. And of course, that's just marker over the stuff. And look at how shaky I am but the cuts are a lot cleaner than the marker, let me tell you. And that's all with my shaky butt. So got that masked up. My whole point to you guys, think everything out as you're going. You want to be masking. You want to be thinking out, how's this going to untape? How's the colors going to go? How's everything going to look? How can I have this taped to where everything is already pre-taped and I just got to spray, untape each process after that. Man, there's a lot of stuff when you start getting into some technical taping. Man, people overlap things that shouldn't be overlapped, and it ends up a mess because you got lines that are underneath that needed to be plucked out. I've seen it all, and it's a learning process, and I'm glad everybody goes through that because I went through it myself. Like I tell all you guys, everything used to be the negative when I taped things. And I'm going to actually just go in with this. I'm going to mask this. This is the low tack that I sell. It's a low tack, transparent. A lot of people use it. Pinstripers use it for their scroll work. They'll put it on there, like they'll put 3 or 4 strips of it on there, and then they will draw out whatever scroll work they're doing. And then and they'll cut it out, leaf it, do whatever they're doing. And of course, with this last, sorry if I get my shoulder in the camera there. Boom, there. And then this, I'm not going to waste a bunch of money filling it with that. I'm going to use some low budget. I got some super low end J tape. This is like literally like the lowest they have. So it would be like 3M's tan, but not this tan. Let me tell you, this is gangster tape. Scotch brand. This tape right here, literally 3M. This is about 28 years old. It still works cherry. I used to love that. And then they came out with the green. And at first, the green, when you would do the fades like we just did on that first panel, the fades would leave skin imprints. You know how tape has like a skin, kind of a skin texture? The fade would leave that, and we hated it. Everybody hated it. Everybody hates change. But now I got that masked up, so that's the next step. And so now we're going to do what we did on the other board. So I'm going to come back literally. I'm going to go with, on this one, we're going to slim it down a little bit. We're going to do some 1/2 inch. We are going to do, in fact, I'm going to break out with the gangster tape, 20 something years old. So I'm going to run this across, literally all the way across here. I'm going to flip this so I can get my line over here the way I want it. Same thing. I'm going to come in with this 1/2 inch old school 3M. This tape is literally 28 years old, from Tucson, Arizona. And it's not because I'm out of tape over here, because I'm not out of tape. This was some of my favorite tape back in the day, and they still sell it. I don't know if it's the same formula, whatever it is. And if any of you guys know, hey, my brother James, definitely thank you for tuning in, brother. I know all you guys that are East Coast, you got to get up early. Appreciate it. Look what the finished product is tomorrow. I look forward to meeting you in person, my brother, in the class. So back to the whole tape. This used to be the old 3M tape. This is what took its place, all because of the Green New Deal. Let me tell you, the Green New Deal, if you guys, that's a bunch of nonsense. The Green New Deal's been going on for like 20 years now. Supposedly this was the biggest pollutant in the United States. 3M, this tape, the pollutants that it put out was so bad that they had to, kind of what they're doing now. And of course, it personally is probably a bunch of nonsense, just like everything going on now. This whole, we could get real political with things, but if you think the planet is warming, that's crazy, because you check temperatures for 100 years and it's the same. It's been always the same, 100 and something. It'll go through its little phases, but they replaced it with this. It was supposed to be safer for the environment, like I say. So it was something we had to get used to. So like I said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do butted up against, but we're slimming it down. Like that one I showed you earlier was 3/4 inch. Same thing, I'm running it all the way across. Same thing, 3/4 inch all the way across. I mean, 1/2 inch all the way across. It's going about 1 millimeter over that other 1/2 inch. Now I'm gonna run, just for the sake, we'll do 3/4 inch tan all the way across, about 1 millimeter off of that one. Like I say, you always want a theme when you're doing things. Always want some background, whatever you're doing in the background, whether it be, you know me, usually I don't ever save enough space to do anything, any effect, you know, lace and torch and marble and water drops. And I mean, we could do a few fades here and do something like that through the middle. But usually me, I get a little excited with the tape and can't put it down. Just put it down. Put the tape down and let the little boy go. So now I'm coming back with green. 3/4 inch. In fact, you know what? I don't want to use a 3/4 inch. I'm going to come back in with 1/2 inch. I changed my mind. Same thing. All the way across. Yeah. Same thing. This is going to go by pretty quick. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. Same thing. I'm going to come in with some J-tape tan. Half-inch masking tape. So that's two. That's 2/4. Now I'm going to come back in with, we'll do, that's 2, 2, 2. I'm going to come back. There's no method to the madness, but three-quarter inch all the way across, 1 millimeter over it. I'm going to do a couple more and then we're going to be ready to spray. We'll start doing our thing. Huh? Boom, boom, boom. Man, we're definitely excited for the Kansas class. Next weekend, it's going down. Kansas City, Missouri. It is going down. If you're able to attend the class, we still have a few spots left. It will sell out next Saturday and Sunday. Kansas City, Missouri. We always have a lot of people come in from out of state for each one of these classes. It's really a chance to invest in yourself, hands-on class. Man, it's just, we try to make it a whole overall experience. We're going to be taking off Monday early and staying at my brother Mark's house overnight and leaving and heading to Kansas the next day. So basically, you see what I did here. Same thing as what we did on that other one. Let me get all this tape out the way. This one, we're going to do a little more tasteful. We're not going to be doing squares. But we're going to do just a little bit different. So this one, there's a couple different things I could do. Like this, I'm going to run just because just because. How's that sound? Hit the like button. Yep. Brother Rudy said hit the like button, please, everybody. I know my screen here is and thank God we fixed. Let me adjust this a little bit better. Thanks God we fixed the. Let me tell you how it's been going the screen up and down. It's crazy. When I started to set up the live earlier and to post it, today it gave an option how I want to have the screen. It's like crazy. Real crazy. It was never there before. Rudy's laughing at me because he thinks it was there before. It wasn't there, trust me. So I'm just going to put 1/8 inch right down there. Same thing here. 1/8 inch right through the middle. We'll do the same thing right in between that. 1/8 inch. Boom. Okay. In fact, you know what? See, this is what I say. Things change as we go. So I'm going to do the same thing real quick here. Starting to get so much tape on it, it's starting to stick to the table. I'm going to have to move it though. Boom. Get that line straight. Same thing. I'm going to do eighth inch all the way down. Basically, you're just putting the middle one right in the middle. Eyeball it as good as possible. Then you're putting an 1/8 inch to the right, to the left, literally right through, and it usually leaves an 1/8 of an inch in between the space. And once you get your own little method going, like I have my own little method how I space things, then it's just, man, it's just like butter every time. So, boom, we got a lot of masking tape on there. This is going to go by pretty quick, like I say. I'm going to go over it with cobalt blue first. Cobalt blue first. Put a couple coats first. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm going to keep... Oh, yeah, let me shoot a couple more coats over this one. I'm going to actually keep these ones on there. These middle ones I'm taking out. I'm going to take the first fade off. It's not even really a fade on this, but you get what I'm saying. Careful over that orange tape because it's low tack. It'll peel it off. So, boom, we got that there. Always make sure how kind of wet it is. Usually dries real quick. Okay, now I'm gonna come back. Kind of what we did with the squares earlier, but this is we're going a little more advanced on this one. So this one you could measure it. We could go up and down. We could do whatever. But I'm gonna kind of go. I'm gonna kind of go with the shape that we got here, kind of the S pattern shape. And then this too, same thing. You could come. You could measure. You could do whatever. You could use this tape for a measure. Some people do. Let's just say you do want to come in. You want to measure it. Like let's say I want to come perfect up that. Same thing here. I'm going to come right off of this. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to remove that one. Or I'm going to keep that there, but then I'm going to come in. I'm going to put this right next to it. So I can remove that. So I got that there. And then I'm going to remove this. And then these, if you can, try to keep them somewhere so you can reuse them. I mean, you want to kind of, unless you guys are millionaires and won the lotto and everything, try to reuse these as much as possible. So and even that I could even stick here for right now. But so then we got that there. Now this, I can come back. Let me get quarter inch. I'll come in with the quarter inch. I can figure out where it starts. That one's 8. I got it. So what I'm going to do here, literally going to come in right along the edge, just right there. I'm going to curve this way. Boom. Then I'm going to do the same thing over here, but this curve's going to go on that side. Like I said, it's always good to continue to move these to where you're comfortable. Except for I'm going to actually, so this one too, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do this literally right there. Tear that up there. And then same thing here. I'm going to do the little bit. Around it right there. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing here on this side. I'm going to round it, turn it right that way. Make sure you ain't got no leakers here. You ain't got a leaker there. You ain't got a leaker there. You ain't got a leaker there. So that's ready to go. Now with this, what I'm going to do instead of shooting a fade, I'm going to come in with the Oriental, in which I could shoot a fade. But this one, I'm going to actually come in. I'm going to shoot kind of around the edge, and then I'm going to fill it in. But it's not going to affect the cobalt blue.
Why are you going to affect the cobalt blue?
Huh?
Why doesn't it affect the cobalt blue?
Because the cobalt blue is darker and Oriental blue is lighter. Rudy asked, why doesn't it affect cobalt blue? So now that's ready to undo. In fact, except for I'm honestly, let me go back over. I see some light spots. Okay, boom. So now this is ready to go. Same thing. These are what we call old school S patterns. A lot more cooler than the squares I did earlier for demonstration. Boom, boom, boom. So now, same thing. It's ready to go. We got it taped. It's taped, ready. Each one's ready to do what you're gonna do with it. You just keep separating it and you keep changing it. And this one, same thing. Want to tack it a little bit. Make sure it's not too wet. I see a couple little wet little spots right there, depending on what you're doing. And now you got some good measurement lines too with these. You seen how I put the tape, used the tape to get a nice measurement. We're going with this shape here. You could even go against it if you wanted. I mean, it's up to you what you're doing. We could have done squares in this too, but I'm going with the flow of this original pattern that we did through it. And we're going to keep with that flow for the whole theme. So the next one, we are going to actually do a fade. So I'm going to come through. Let's see. And this is back to, I mean, it's really your choice where you want to do this. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to kind of get me a little measurement going. Boom. I'm going to go right against the edge of that. But then I'm going to remove that. In fact, I'm going to space it out a little bit more. In fact, I'll do 2. And then I'm going to remove this. Same thing. I'm going to come over here. Same thing. I'm going to use this just to go against that edge there. And then same thing. I'm going to come back with this here. And I'm going to remove this. And then we're going to come. And you could just spray that if you wanted, but I'm trying to keep somewhat one side rounded. One side rounded. To where we're not, it's sharp. It's got a point here. Those could have just been choppy squares like this, but we're doing round, round. It's round on this side, round, round, round. So now I'm going to come back, same thing. And of course I just need to go here. You're trying to butt it. This is literally just to get boom. And then this side's going to be round. So I'm going to come right here. I'm going to turn it. Boom. Cherry. Move this over some. Always move it to where you're comfortable. So same thing here. Turning. Don't forget to like and subscribe, people. Same thing here. Now we're ready to go. This is simple, like I say. Boom, boom, boom. Super cool effect. Who's all with me here? Who's awake? Who's awake? If you guys could again, say where you're from. Let's keep that chat going. You guys got any questions too? Why is water wet? Why is the sky blue? I'm not your guy. Laugh out loud, but serious. So now we are going in. I'm going to come in with cobalt blue, which I do not have. I have oriental again. So I'm coming in with the cobalt. And like I say, if we're trying to stick with this color theme for this one. And yeah, what's happening? Arizona in the house, brother Trevor. The Fat Lack. Nick, Kansas City. Thank you, my brother. David, Columbus, Ohio. Cherry. So, and of course, you can do whatever colors you want with this. But like I say, we're sticking with the Royals colors. And of course, I mean, if somebody wants to get technical with me and it's like baby blue and gold and whatever, I'm like, man, we're using candies here. We're using 2 shades of blue, oriental, cobalt, and we're using pagan gold. And of course your silvers. So this one I am going to do a fade. So I'm literally shooting the edge. Kind of like we did earlier with the squares. Just shooting right along the edge. You're not shooting in the empty spot that's right there where the silver is. I'm literally shooting, and it's making the paint fade up of the tape. That's why it's called a tape fade. A tape fade, because you're fading right up the tape, and depending on how dark you want to get it. And like I said, it's so cool because it shoots over the color we just shot, and it just gives it a lot of depth. And depending on how much you want to shoot, which I always like to shoot a lot, like right along in these areas, right along in these areas. I'm going to call it a day right there on that one. So now, boom, next one, it's ready to go. We untape. Like I say, be careful over that orange low tack. Of course, it gets so wrapped up there. Let me find my trusty little razor blade. Wherever it went. There it is right there. And like I say, I'll pluck it. If it's wrapped around the board, I'll pluck it and I'll separate it, and I'll go one way with one. So there we go. Like I say, you want to be real careful over the orange, because it will rip it up. Low tack versus high tack. Boom, boom, boom. Tack rag again. Tack rag it real cool. I mean real quick, real cool. Today, let's see. Today I am using a hodgepodge of stuff. Right now I'm using House of Color, Oriental Blue, Cobalt Blue. The gold is Orion. The Orion is mixed in with their Intercoat Clear. The House of Colors is mixed in with the what do you call it? The nebulizer, which is super. I like it, but it is a lot of money. It's like $300 a gallon. That's just way crazy for me. And I'm hoping to be selling a brand that I've been using here for a minute. I'm keeping it on the DL just for a minute. Candies, all of that. Hoping to be an exclusive seller here in my area. But yeah, so hodgepodge, my brother. Okay, so you see we got that there. It looks pretty cool. Got the different, I'll kind of bring it up a little bit close. These paint cups, they're called PPS cups. This is the old school ones. They're like mounted cup. It's real cool. They're like disposable. And it's so you can have, like right now I got all of these ready to go. You know what I mean? Even more, you know, and you can just be ready to go, or you can change them real quick. They just pop off. You pop them off real quick. Okay, so now we're ready for the next one. So back to that, we're just crisscrossing through, or I could do another fade all the way. I could do a straight fade all the way through, which would be cool, which honestly might actually be cool right now. We'll do Oriental, but we will just go straight through. But we could crisscross, like I say. I'm just shooting it right along that line. Tape fade. This is Oriental Blue. I'm going to actually flip it to shoot this side. I like to be shooting towards shooting that way. Always shoot where you're comfortable. Don't move with the board. Have the board move with you. Now that might not work if you're doing a roof on a car or a car. I mean, the car's stable. You know what's cool? You know, lots of customers, if they bring it, the car has hydraulics. You know, I'll ask them permission. It's like, hey, can I use the juice while I'm patterning it out? You can drop it, lower it, drop the whole side, lift one side to be taping the pattern on the, you know what I mean? We don't all have that luxury all the time. But boom, same thing. Be careful, peel it real light over the low tack. Boom. Definitely getting a little wet there. We're starting to get cooler. It's crazy how winter is coming. Times changing. Starting to get cold in the morning here. And we got our balloon fiesta coming up here. If you guys have heard of the balloon fiesta, I talked to the mayor today and told him I had an important people coming into town. Told him I need a police escort to Brahms. That's a good one, my brother Mark. That's funny. That is funny. So now, like I say, kind of want to make sure it's dry before we do that next step. And you can just see we're layering, you know, real cool. Got the fades. And all of this, like I say, is going to be a huge buildup. You got to think all of this is going to look like it's going underneath all of this. And then on top of this pattern. So that's when you get into 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional is what I call it. Layering, 4 layering, 5 layering, 6 layering. You want to call it 5D, 3D, whatever it is. But so now this one, I probably, it's back to that. It's just decisions as you're going. We could shoot just another fade all the way across, or we could crisscross. We could go back through this. You know what I mean? So honestly, I think I'm going to go through. We'll go through. Just kind of make it up as you go. Unless you got a plan. Almost every job I do, there's no plan. It's just do it as you go. Hope for the best. Psych. But I'm serious though. Is kind of that. Just kind of create it as you're going. So I'm going to put this one over just so it's against that edge. And I'm just doing this just to measure to where it's like got good measurement. You always want to make sure too, there's times, boy, where you see it's peeling up. See where it peeled the paint off the tape? Man, there'll be times where it does it on the actual job. You want to make sure that it was prepped right. You want to make sure that it was cleaned right. You want to make sure that you just didn't go to KFC. You didn't go to KFC and you didn't wash your hands before you start taping and rubbing it. And I've seen some crazy stuff, man. People come and want to touch the work you're working on and they just came from KFC or McDonald's French fries or something. Hey girl, my daughter just stepped in the house. What up? What up? Yeah, there you go. Get in there.
Hello.
What up? What up?
Hi, Dad.
Hi, girl. So now, same thing. I'm going to come in. With. No, it's a panel that I'm painting. It's It's like a demonstration panel for the class that we have going on. We have hands-on class where we teach how to do lowrider patterns, teach the art of it, coming up next weekend in Kansas. We have people that come from all around, all skill levels. If you have never touched a gun in your whole life, you know, this is something, an awesome experience. Hands-on class, an amazing class. Where are you located at? So if we were doing water drops with this, which we don't have time tonight, because water drops got to dry basically overnight, Nick, we would have to literally, whatever spot we're picking, which I would have probably saved like a nice spot, like about this big. And there's many ways of doing it. Water bottle, you could put your hand in a cup, splatter it. You always want to have, you never want it to be sanded, Flake. You always want to put inner coat clear before you do the water spots to where it beads up really nice beads. Else you get blurry beads. And there's people, man, that even use like a what do you call it? What do you shoot up with? like a turkey baster, they will put like the drops like that, and then you'll shoot one angle, depending on what you want to do, white, black, to give your shadow, black this way, sideways, white on that side, or if you're just trying to do candy, you'll shoot it whatever angle you want the water beads, the water drops, let it dry overnight, and it looks just like water dropped on it. It's just real sick. So now back to this. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to try to move along. So same thing. I'm going to turn this here. Bam. Same thing. I'm going to run this along this way. And then I'm going to turn it just like we've been doing. And I noticed earlier, see that? There's a little crack paint. You want to make sure you don't have those. Go back and mask that up. So same thing. I'm going to come over to this side. Same thing. Definitely you don't want that overlapping. You go right along the edge and then turn it. Curve it how you want it. Of course that tape, it looks like I bent it a little bit. Same thing. This one, I don't gotta bother because it ends at the end. So now we're ready to roll for the next one. We just did Oriental, so now we're gonna do Cobalt. Boom. What's happening, Brother Timothy in the house? Aztec in the house. You got it, Brother Nick. So now same thing, Cobalt Blue. Let me get it to where you guys can see what I'm doing. Same thing, we're just the same thing, fade. Coming along. I'm going to turn up the pressure a little bit. And you're able to do this all with minimal things. So I'm going to Harbor Freight air compressor, spray guns, whatever it is. You don't need all this fancy stuff. If you can afford it, great, man. I'm not trying to knock it. But for all those that are on a budget, you're able to make all this happen with bare minimal. So same thing, I'm just shooting a fade right across. Same thing over here. And depending on what inner coat clear you're using, there's some like even the SG100, man, you'll get pills. It'll peel the candy back. Certain ones where if you don't let it dry good, let me go over a couple more times right here. Always make sure you got enough where you want it. A little bit more right here. And then it's ready to go right there. We're going to keep moving right along. Boom. It's just cool. It overlaps over the next one. Over the next one. Over the next one. Like I say, this is mandatory, these fades. If you are trying to figure all this out, these fade outs, what I showed even on the earlier with the board earlier, it's mandatory to put these in your arsenal. Joe B, I see some guys using resin as clear. What are your thoughts on that? Actually, man, that resin clear is pretty good. Sal Manzano, much love and respect to him. A lot of people. I've never used it. I would love to learn how to do it. I know Sal was going to show me, which I know it's basically fiberglass resin. You can buy it by the 5 gallons. You can buy it by the gallon. And instead of shooting finishing clear high solid, you're using literally fiberglass resin. And you talk about solid. I would say that's definitely a good method too, my brother. Brother Joe, definitely. And I shoot my flake with finishing clear, always high solids. I'm not a fan of the dry flake. I haven't tried it, but, and of course my brother Joe, man, that's all he does in Atlanta, all flaked out, Joe Angel, and he does amazing. It does look sick, but like I say, I haven't tried that yet. You know, it's one thing, you know, all of us, sometimes we get stuck in our ways. So kind of want to show you guys, look, we're just building out. So cool. Cobalt blue, oriental blue, cobalt blue, oriental blue, cobalt blue. Kind of building out. So now we've got a few more left. I'm going to actually, this one, I'm going to actually come back with the oriental. I'm going to shoot just straight across. In fact, well, no, I'll wait till the next one. So I'm going to literally go straight across. So literally it's ready to roll. Back and forth, just over the line there. Now I'm going to flip it. Let me get this one out the way. Back and forth, right over the line. You turn up the pressure just a little bit. Depending on how thick you mix it up too, you can start getting little spots. You want to reduce it. I try to mix it to where it's got quite a bit of candy to where you're not having to go over it 100 times. So we're ready. The next step. Same thing, be very careful over these spots. I don't want to peel up what's back there. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and because this is taped behind here, like I say, let me lift this up a little bit. Same thing, be very careful over that orange tape, the low tack. It'll peel it up. Boom, boom, boom. Kind of go back over it, same thing. We're getting there. Literally, it's going to be moving real fast. We're like getting down to the wire. Let me lift this up, put it over here. Now this one, I'm going to come back real quick. I'm going to actually come back with 1/4 inch right here. I'm going to just literally run about an 1/8 inch away from that 1/2 inch right there. Like I say, this is just like you're having fun. Literally, ain't no rules unless there is, which there's a rules in my head. I know that sounds crazy, but I tell you there's no rules, but there's rules. There's stuff that looks crazy that till you get it figured out, you're like, that looks kind of crazy. But this, like I say, this is really just, we're building up over each other. Detail. You see all these cool ass patterns kind of overlapped over each other. You know, and you really got to see it in person. So now this one too, ready to roll. You know, that was a 3/4 inch gap, so I went in with the 1/4 inch. What's up, Anjay? My brother Anjay. He's one of the students. Man, definitely love this guy. One of the students from the Lowrider Bike After School program. Man, his bike is sick. It fades from blue to purple to magenta. So it's going to be starting up on Jay in November. I'll know some more when I get back from Kansas. So now I'm coming back. Cobalt blue. Cobalt blue. Right along that. And of course, that is not cobalt, but that's all right. I will grab the cobalt. Cobalt blue right along the edge. Same thing, kind of a fade, except for the where that 1/8 inch gap is. That I'm going solid with, and I am gonna flip it just so I can spray it good, comfortable to spray it. Same thing, fading right along this. Boom, boom, boom. This one, it's getting pretty wet. So this one here, ready to go. It's ready to peel off. Same thing. Be careful when you're peeling. Same thing. Careful when you're peeling. Okay. Now that green one's ready to come off too as well. You don't make sure you don't peel off the next one. Same thing. Here we go. Be careful peeling. Okay. Same thing with this one. You find where the razor blade is, of course. Those things get lost in the sauce. We're excited though. We are heading out Monday morning for Kansas. We're going to be stopping in Tulsa to go visit my brother Mark. He's got a shop out there. How about some gold? I'm going to be adding some gold for sure, my brother Lloyd. I'm going to, because of the Royals colors, I can't mix the gold in with the blue. So like I said, we could have chose to do like a solid gold through here, but it would have kind of threw everything off. Honestly, the only place I'm putting gold is right in this little spot that's on the logos. If you look up the Royals, kind of like the picture that I had in the actual for the going live. So here we go. This is the last one. So I'm going to literally, same thing. I'm going to come across it with some Oriental blue, and then we're going to start untaping those next little step there. So same thing. Coming across this real light Oriental. I'm going to flip it. This thing's going to be coming to life here real quick. Like I say, all of this is just the background. That could have been whatever in the background, lace, marble. You know me, like I say, you know, my thing is taping, so I like to do a lot of taping. And so now we got that last one. As far as that background. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Brother Lloyd. So, boom. Okay. Now, we've had a bunch of crazy mosquitoes here in Albuquerque. We're talking real annoying. Man, and actually tonight, I'm like, it's starting to cool down enough that there was a few earlier. Of course, I better knock on wood. So, boom. We got that there. So now I'm going to actually take off those 3 1/8 inch that I did. On both sides. All this is just little detail, little accents. Boom, boom, boom. So there we go there. So now same thing, tack rag. Tack rag there. And I am going to come in. Let me grab the black. I'm going to shoot a little bit of black to make it look like these are all going behind that pattern. Always test your gun first. This black's been in here since last week. So same thing, I'm just shooting right here. Shooting black a little bit right there just for the depth. Sorry if you get my shoulder in there. Transparent black. Right along the edge. And that's all just how much you want to shoot. Honestly, I'm a little heavy with the black. There'll be a reason for it, like I say. Gives it that depth. Makes it look like all these patterns are going behind all of that. Like I say, I'm pretty heavy with the black. Okay. Now, next step. We're ready to take that off. Sometimes it takes a minute to figure out what do I got going on here. What's the madness? What kind of madness do I got going on here? I'll take that off. Boom. Boom. Okay. It's going to be coming to life. Thank you guys for tuning in too. Please press the like button, everybody. What's the base silver? Yeah, it's silver, coarse silver. And then it's got the Vanderslice flake on it. This one is boards left. These boards are from the Albuquerque class 4 months ago. So they've got 0.02, 0.04, 0.08. Okay, then I am going to peel off this here. Okay. Boom. So now, let me see. This is kind of okay. Do you want to go with Oriental? Do you want to go with, you know what I mean? Type of thing. And like I say, you could go back like Brother Lloyd. This could have went back. We could have taped all of this up, shot gold in here, which would be cool. But then I'm trying to think what that's going to cause us. Because I'm going to shoot color in there. And actually, man, it actually would work. Let me think that out, though, before I do that. You know what? I'm going to just stick with the plan. We'll stick with the gold there. What should we, though? Come on, Rob. What are we doing here? You know what? Yeah, you know what? We're going to stick with the plan. Top. Like is at the top of the screen. Lots of people. Only 7 likes. Come on, people. Thank you, Lloyd. Yep, come on. Hit that like button. It's the thumb. The thumb. Come on, people. And I think sometimes when you reset it, I know when I get up, it pops up. There's a whole bunch of likes. But yes, much appreciated. Let me see. Man, now you got me thinking. Let's see here. Do we want to go with the gold there? And then boom, 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 boom. Let's see. You know what? Nah. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Let me adjust this right here a little bit better. Want you guys to be able to see good there. So I'm going to go, we got Oriental. In fact, I'll do the Cobalt. Just shooting along it. Don't got to mask anything up. Same thing over here. shoot it as dark as you want it, as light as you want it. You could just do a mist coat on it, whatever. Honestly, I could have probably put a little more candy in the cobalt. It's a little watered down. Not usually how I mix it. Not so easy. You just go pop it up, add a little more concentrate into it. Boom, boom, boom. Do a couple coats over that. Okay. Now we're going to untape that middle section. Of course, it's still a little wet. Like I say with me, I'm pretty shaky. Same thing, be careful, you don't want to peel. Boom, boom, boom. And then same thing. So what I could do here instead, usually I do the white to get that little hologram effect, which we could, but I'm going to go cobalt and then oriental. I'm going to untake that and then go oriental over that. I'm just going to go right here with the cobalt. Literally, it'll darken it up right there. That little fade. That's what I was telling you guys. I masked up. Instead of just masking it all up with 3/4 inch, I kind of masked it up with that 1/2 inch right there. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing right here. Gonna have to be careful. Don't want to peel up that orange. Now I'm going to come back with Oriental Blue over this, and then we're going to start. We're going to see it start popping. A little bit of popping. Let's see. Oriental right there. So same thing, I can just do that Oriental right over the cobalt. Doesn't affect it. That's what I'm going to run a little Oriental over those silvers right there. Same thing over here. A little bit right there over that. Boom, boom, boom. Got the boom, boom, boom and the cherry, bro. Okay. Then this is ready to go, man. Same thing. Be careful right there. We don't want to peel up that orange. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing. Come across this. Boom. This one here. Same thing, tack rag. Especially the later it gets at night. Wintertime, it gets a little colder. You might want to let it dry a little bit. Like this is still a little wet right in this area. It's a little wet, but not wet enough that it's going to stick, but it's sticky, if you get me. So now I'm going to come back the little black right along this. Gonna just go right along the edge Like I said, I'm pretty heavy with the black. Boom. Now we are going to pluck what we want plucked out. Like I say, is going to go gold with this. Let me right there. Let me actually, I'm going to go just with a little bit Oriental around the edge right there too. Boom. Okay. Now I'm going to pluck this out. We are going to, and of course, man, we could do that whole thing gold, but I'm gonna keep it the way the emblem really is. So I'm gonna actually, let me see, get a little bit of the cobalt. On the edge, I'm going to go around the letters a little bit. On the edge again. Around the letters a little. It's going to be silver underneath that. That's just blue Sharpie. Where you see that KC. I'm going to come in. In fact, I'm going to attack it real quick. I'm going to come back in, fill it in with some cobalt. With the Oriental. Okay, and then I'm going to come back with just a little black, barely go around those letters. Transparent black. I'm going to hit the border real quick here. Same thing. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right, now we are going to pluck out come on, little buddy. Once I get it started, and all those little borders will be silver This is gonna go gold. Get it started. Like I say, it wouldn't be, this is all cut by hand. I say I don't know how to use my Cricut machine or whatever brand I bought. I'm not the most tech person, but like, might as well untape this, show you guys. This will be silver underneath. Could go to, if you get it, man, could honestly go back. You could tape this, you could move it over just a little bit. And you could shoot a little bit of black over this. You don't stretch it too much. Boom. So I'm literally gonna shoot literally just a little black right there, just for a little effect. Like I say, I cut this out by hand. It would have been nice if it was cut out with the machine. This will give it a little 3D. Boom. Okay, now let me shoot honestly a little black on the edges. That kind of makes it look like the patterns are going through. Dry real quick. So now I'm gonna untape my border, and we'll do the border gold, and we're gonna do right in here gold, and then it is pretty much finished. I appreciate you guys continuing to hang in there with me. I do want to try to get some clear on it as well. I'll try to make that as quick as possible. Get some of this stuff off. Tack it off, and then I am going to kind of go back. Let me go back with some of this, and then I'm going to mask up. Let's see. So I'll do this. 1, 2. Yeah, that's going to be a pain right there. Let me see. Gonna get these real quick, fill in the gap, and then I'm going to use the big paper for the rest. This will be pretty quick. Come in, I'm gonna mask that up real quick. Boom. This right here, real quick. There. There. Boom. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Boom. Boom. And make sure you get all those little open areas taped up. I didn't realize those. Let me cut real quick here. 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 Let me get that out of the way real quick. Like I say, I'm shaky. If I can do it, you can do it. And I honestly get more shaky as I almost get a job done. It's like excitement. Been shaky my whole life. Seems to be getting a little bit more. Okay. Make sure you don't got no leak throughs. Boom. Line that back up. And then I might have to go grab some more of this real quick. I'm going to tape literally right here across. Boom. That down right there. I'm going to try to get it all taped up to where it's all ready to go at the same time. This one I'm going to probably just kind of tear it down. Come back right here. Let's get real quick there. Tear that there. Same thing. I don't know how much is left in this thing. Man, actually enough. Okay. We're almost ready to spray gold, and then we're going to be untaping, and you'll be able to see what it looks like. Let me scooch this over a little bit. And this here, usually what I'll do is I'll just tear it out right there. Boom, boom, boom. Don't want no leak throughs. Make sure everything's taped up good. Same thing over here. Okay. Same thing here. Make sure there. Boom. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. So now this border is going to go gold. Now that we got everything taped up and just that little bit's going to go gold. Boom, boom, boom. Gold paint or gold leaf. It's going to go gold paint. Candy paint. No leaf. We don't got time for leaf tonight. I'm not really the leaf guy. I do it, but I'm not the professional. I'm more like your pattern. Pretty much strictly patterns. Same thing. Go around. Make sure you ain't got no leak throughs. In other words, no over taping, no under taping. A bit of gold. Gold around the whole edge. super clean. Kind of move this around a little bit. Make sure I get enough gold around the edge. Now I know somebody asked air pressure. Yeah, boom, 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 J. Ortiz. Air pressure. Honestly, I don't have no... Everything I do is by feel. I'm never like a point whatever 10 pounds per pressure. I've never done that ever. Never adjusted anything to what the specs say. Honestly, it's all by feel. The gun is an extension of you. So, I mean, if people do want to get technical, you know, if maybe you're doing collision work or something, which I have a lot of respect for collision painters. Man, they gotta be darn near perfect. In our world, we have a lot of room for error. I mean, you don't want to be making mistakes, but I mean, it's gonna happen. But boom, boom, boom. Let me get this last little sections here. Always be a little careful. Sometimes it will peel up stuff. You really don't want it to. I'm going to actually try to keep the blue on because I might want to shade a little black. But let's see. Okay. And honestly, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna shoot just a little black. Just barely. And then we'll be able to take this up. Okay. Now it's going to come to life. Boom, boom, boom. And then the border. I appreciate that, Nick. Now the border. Undo it. Boom. You want to go back always. You want to make sure there's no adhesive from any of the tape. There's a chance sometimes it does do it. Sometimes in the winter it's weird. Man, the adhesive from some of the tape will stay on there. You want to make sure to get that off. Kind of make sure feel it with your bare hands. Now I'm going to mix up some clear real quick. Hopefully you guys hang in there with me a minute. Let me try to move this a little bit better. You guys see the whole thing. And we're going to see this thing pop. Boom. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Watch. I'm going to mix up clear real quick. Give me about 35 minutes. No, just kidding. Give me just real quick. Boom, boom, boom. You know what? Watch, let me real quick. Let me that board we did earlier. kind of clear it too. This is the board. If you guys barely are tuning in, I did this earlier to show everybody just tape fades. What you can do with tape fades. I'm just going to shoot a quick border around it. In fact, I might use blue to where it changes that gold to green. Even though, like I say, I kind of really don't personally like that color combo. But I actually like the way the Royals board came out. So I'm just literally shooting around that border. You can see it's turning that gold to green. I'm going to clear this one at the same time, so forgive me guys if you're waiting for the other board real quick. We'll be ready to clear here in 5 minutes. Like I say, this board was just to demonstrate fades. So I'm going to, let's see here. Untape that border real quick. In fact, let that dry just a quick minute. Boom. Thank you guys for hanging in, mixing up. Snap, crackle, pop. Okay. Okay, so I am back with some clear. Boom, man. Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate you, brother. You make it look easy. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Up the hook. Cars and more. Get this out the way. Kind of blow up the area. And, of course, a lot of these boards, like the Kansas one I did last week. Tomorrow I'm going to resend it and re-clear it. These are boards for the class, just demonstration. I'm going to resand it. Hit it down with some 320. Get it smooth and put a flow coat over it. Same thing with this board. Tack it up. Always want to put a medium dry coat over artwork like this. I'm going to raise this up some, move this out a little bit, scoot this back a little bit. So I'm going to put just a kind of a mist coat over it first. You call it a medium wet, whatever. So give me a second on that one. So let me take off the edge on this one real quick, the border. This is the one I did right at first just to show you guys fades. What you can do with just square fades. Definitely need fades in your arsenal. So important for your detail. And like this one is just demonstration on doing fades crisscrossing over each other. So I'm going to put some clear on it too. I'll put a coat on this. I'll bring back that other one real quick. And I'll put a wet coat on. The clear I'm putting on right now is High Solids clear. It's 2 to 1. And of course I'm just putting it on medium wet. Kind of a tack coat. Not flooding it wet at all. Medium dry, medium wet. Grab the other one. Now I'm going to go a little bit heavier. Of course, just because time-wise, you know, this should set a little bit longer before I put more clear on it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to put the light on it. Hopefully you guys are able to see what we're putting on. Boom, boom, boom. See it popping. Let me kind of put it up to you too as well. Of course, I wish I had a little bit more light while I'm showing you guys this, and you gotta be here to see it. Like I say, I wish there was a flash on it. I'm gonna put another coat on that other piece real quick, and then I'll let you guys go. I'm gonna do a few more coats of clear on them, but I want to be a good steward of your time. Boom. I'll show you guys with the light real quick on this one. This is the one, like I say, this is just the one I was doing the fades just to show you how cool it looks with them overlapping. Let me bring the other one back real quick. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Want to say, definitely please press the like button, guys. It means a lot when you do that. I do want to mention again, the pattern class coming up, hands-on next weekend, Kansas City, Missouri. Me and my brother Nick Rodriguez will be doing a hands-on class. We're going to have a bunch of awesome hands-on instructors there. And it's all materials included. You get a 12-inch by 32-inch board. You get all the tape, 8 rolls of fine line vinyl. You get, you also get all the candies, lunch included both days at $7.75. If you need help with the class, you need to put your deposit in. We still got a few spots left. $250 to reserve your spot. There's a link at the bottom that goes right to the website. Same thing. Any of the tape I use tonight, I have for sale on my website. 3M, J tape, all different sizes. 1 millimeter, 16th inch, 8th inch, quarter inch, half inch, 3/4 inch. Also, Vanderslice Chrome Silver Flake in all different sizes. Hit me up for that. Support small business. Let me tell you, I'm small. There's a lot of competition out there. I appreciate your support. You can also get your Vanderslice shirts, all different colors. Black shirt with any color Vanderslice you want. Green, purple, gold. We got some way cool colors. Oranges, blues, reds, or the original multicolor, full color. And like I say, just thank you, man. Sign up for the class. If you're able to take it, you're able to come. Make it to Kansas. Let me tell you, you still got time. There's still some spots left. Man, and let me tell you, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. It means a lot. Thank you for spending your Thursday with me. Let's go out with some prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you, Lord. We thank you for everything you do for us, Lord, through the goods, through the bads. I don't know what people are what's going on in people's lives on the live feed here, Lord. I pray over each and every one of them, their families, Lord. We just pray that you continue to just have your hand on us. Those that don't know you, that they would come to know you, Lord. Those that are struggling, that they would know that you're right there, Lord, with them with open arms, just waiting for them, Lord. So I just pray over each and every single soul that's represented here, Lord. And we ask for forgiveness in those areas that we fall short, Lord. And we thank you for the skills and the talents that you give us to do what we do. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Love you guys, and God bless each and every one of you guys. Hope you enjoyed tonight's class, whatever you want to call it, hands-on instruction. Hope you got something out of it. Main thing, tape fades. Get those in your arsenal. Tape fades. Get those in your arsenal. You see how cool that looks, the depth. And of course, you got to see this piece in person. It gives it it doesn't give it justice, what you're seeing. So like I say, definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys, and God bless. Hey, I appreciate that. Cars and More, appreciate you. Much love to you, Brother Lloyd. God bless you, brother. I appreciate you guys. And if you are ordering, order right away. That way I'm able to ship it to you before we leave to Kansas. And thank you guys for tuning in. Truly hope this was a benefit to you guys. God bless you guys.